Hello, folks, and welcome. This is Dan from Tabletop Gaming Guild. Today, I am going to go over the game Lords of Vegas. In Lords of Vegas, you and your fellow players are all real estate moguls attempting to gain control of the Las Vegas Strip by owning properties, building hotels, building large hotels, and being in control of those hotels. At the beginning of the game, each player will get 2 random cards out of this property deck. These 2 cards give the players 2 bits of information. One, these are the properties that you start with control of at the beginning of the game. D4 and A2 in this case. A2 is there. D4 is there. The board is laid out in blocks. These 6 spaces are the A block. There are 6 spaces in the B block. There's 12 over here in C, 9 in D, 6 in E, 9 in F. If any player does draw an F card, just set it aside and have them redraw if you're playing at 2 players. The other thing these 2 cards tell you is how much money you start with. 8, 6, so 14 for me. Once all the players in the game have their starting properties and money, we can set up this deck, the property deck. This game over card has to go in here somewhere in order to determine when the game end is triggered. By game rules, this needs to go somewhere in the top of the bottom quarter of the deck. I usually take it and 3 other cards from this deck, shuffle those together. You are not supposed to know exactly where it is, so this is good enough for me. When a player takes their turn, the first thing they do is take a card from the property deck. Then they take control of the property that's on that card, C1 in this case. Then there's a payout. So the lots that are not yet developed with casinos are parking lots, and everyone collects $1 $1 million for each empty lot that they have. Right now, red would collect 3, green would collect 2, and purple would collect 2. The other thing that happens when this card is drawn is there is a payout due to the casino. So if we now take a look at the board, all the Trivoli casinos pay out. We see here that I've set up the purple player to own this Trivoli casino in this space. The purple player would earn $6 because that is the value of the die at that casino. And they would also earn 1 victory point because it is the casino is 1 tile large. Once all payouts have been done, the active player can proceed with their turn. You can take any number of actions on your turn, but most of the actions require money to complete. Therefore, you will eventually run out of actions that you can reasonably do. So one of the things you can do is build a casino. To build a casino, you have to own a piece of property. You have to build it on a piece of property that you already own. You pay the cost that is in this yellow explosion in the bottom left-hand corner. 12 million for D4, which is the property that I am going to build. You can decide for yourself what kind of casino you want to build. There's 5 different colors in the game. These colors are equally represented in the deck of property cards. However, there's some number of them, 8 cards total that are at the bottom of the deck that we know we will definitely never see in the game. And of course, a disproportionate number of cards may come out during the course of the game. So right now, we've already seen 3 Albion cards, but no Pioneer cards. I'm going to play my odds, and I'm going to build a Pioneer Casino. When you build a casino, you mark it with a die and set the die to the value that's on the property that you just developed, 4 in this case. Another thing you could do is sprawl. In order to be able to sprawl, you have to have a casino. You need to be the boss, so you need to control the highest die that's in that casino. More on that later. And you need to pick a piece of property that's adjacent orthogonally to that casino to expand into. Say this D5, if I'm expanding from this casino that I just showed you. The cost to sprawl is twice this number. So it cost me 16 to sprawl from this space. But if I could pay that, I'd put another marker down to indicate that it's Pioneer, because that's the casino I'm expanding. And I'd put a die there and mark it 1. This has its advantages because you can make a casino bigger, which will score you more points. When that casino pays out, you'll also score more money when that casino pays out. It does have a slight drawback because if now another player draws this D5 piece of property, they can throw my die out of this space and take control of this piece of property. Another thing you can spend money on during your turn is to remodel. To remodel a casino, again, you need to be the boss. In this case, green is the boss of this 1-tile casino that is Vega. If they wanted to remodel, they would pay $5 per tile they want to remodel. They can remodel this into whatever they want as long as there are tiles remaining in the supply. If they remodel into a Pioneer, for example, this is now a single casino that is 2 tiles large, and they remain the boss because they have the highest pip value die in the casino. If they wanted to then remodel this casino back into Vega for some reason, they would have to pay an additional 10. Another thing that players can do is reorganize a casino. Any player can reorganize any casino as long as they have some presence there. So the red player can choose to reorganize this casino, this 2-tile casino. If they do so, it costs money equal to the total pip value of all the dice in the casino. So right now, 10. All the dice in the casino are re-rolled. So this is a way to take over a casino. Right now, green is the boss. So red can pay 10 million, which, yes, is a reasonable chunk of change to re-roll these dice. And they are now the boss of that casino since they have the higher value. It were paid off for them. It might not have. The last thing a player can do on their turn, a player may only do this once on their turn, is gamble. To gamble, you pick a casino that is not yours, i.e., you are not the boss of that casino, and you put forth a wager. There is a maximum bet. The maximum bet is 5 money per tile in the casino that you have picked. So the green player could pick this casino and wager 10 money. They then take 2 dice and roll them. There's 2 gambling dice on this table specifically for this purpose. The results of the gambling roll are basically just here on this card. If the player rolled any number between 5 and 8, they lose their bid. On any of these other numbers that are on this card, the player representing the house pays what was wagered to the other player, or double on a 2 to 12. This gambling action is a way to get yourself a few extra bucks if you're short, like a giant reorganization or a giant remodel in the late game. In addition to the 5 different types of property cards that are in the deck, there are also 4 copies of the strip card, including the card that triggers the end of the game. When this card is revealed, the player that drew it takes control of the property that's on it, as per usual. But then all the casinos that are on the Las Vegas Strip will pay out in both victory points and money, which can be worth quite a lot for people that have geared themselves towards that. So if the strip card would happen right now, purple here would get $6 and a victory point for this casino. Red would get $4 and 2 victory points for this casino. Green would get $1 for that, for this space, and then green would get $4 more and 1 victory point for this space down here. As the game progresses, people will be moving up this victory point track. And this victory point track is actually quite interesting because it does something to how the game is scored as people progress. In order to move from this space 8 to this space 10, you must have earned at least 2 victory points during the payout phase that you are trying to resolve. And you must also own a casino of at least 2 tiles. These things are often synonymous, but you can, for example, earn 2 victory points by having 2 casinos on the strip or belonging to the same color that are both only a single tile, but because they're not adjacent. So you need to have both. If you score at least 2 points, hurrah, you make it to the 10 space. If you manage to score 4 points and have a casino of at least 2 spaces large, hurrah, you make it to the 12 space. This keeps going, folks. So up here, you need casinos that are at least 3 tiles big and have to score at least 3 points. And over here, you need casinos at least 4 tiles big, and you need to score at least 4 points. So as you go up this track, it's progressively harder and harder to score. In the late game, it is entirely possible to have casinos that have 3, 4, or even 5 spaces. It is quite uncommon to see casinos that are 6 or more spaces large. Oftentimes, players will manipulate the board so that casinos don't get that large because that's how people get very large leads. Also, a casino that is, say, more than 4 tiles big is a big target for reorganization by other players. This game does permit a certain amount of negotiation. And we see that green's got 2 dice in it. Red and purple both have 1 die in it. Purple is currently the boss because they have the highest die in the casino. If it's Red's turn, he might consider reorganizing this casino and taking his chances. But, Green's got 2 dice to roll compared to his 1, and Green's more than likely to turn out to be the boss. So, red can turn to green and ask for some amount of money that they will then immediately use to reorganize the casino. And green might agree because they are likely to come out ahead of this because they're rolling more dice. And if they do become the boss, they are the boss of this casino for one more card reveal than if they did it on like their own turn. If after a reorganization or really at any point in time there are two dice in a casino that are tied for being the boss, just those dice are re-rolled. In this example, both this red die and this green die are tied. They are both sixes. To determine who is the boss, they re-roll just those two dice. Here, red got a 2, green got another 5. The fact that green had a backup 5 over here that was not re-rolled meant they're probably going to be the boss anyways. Play proceeds with each player buying and expanding properties, collecting money and victory points, and mostly using their money to get more victory points until, of course, this card is drawn. When this card is drawn, the strip, all the casinos that are on the strip pay out in victory points and money one last time, and the player with the most points wins. Most money is a tiebreaker. So, folks, I think that covers Lords of Vegas in a nutshell. If I forgot something, messed something up, or made an error somewhere, please write a comment down below. I love learning games, but we all learn better when we learn together. Hey folks, thanks for watching. If you liked the video, hit like, or even subscribe to the channel. Otherwise, see you around.